My first course that I created before the Subconscious Freedom Mastermind was one of my first ones was the mirrors of the universe. And I went through four main mirrors that I discovered from working with myself and working with other people. Because it's one thing to say reality is a mirror of you, right? We can get that. We can understand it. We can understand this reality is emerging through us, so what we're experiencing is a mirror. But it gets trickier when it's in certain segments. Like, what about the mirror when we are magnetically drawn to another person and we think we're in love with them? And it's a magnetic draw that like takes us over. But the relationship isn't meant to be, the timing isn't right. So what is that magnetic draw? Maybe the other person's in a relationship or maybe whatever the case. So what is it that's magnetic draw? What is that really telling us? There's a mirror for it. There's a mirror that describes this. That once we see it, we see into what's subconsciously going on to create the magnetic draw. What about the mirrors that show up when we're manifesting something? When we're manifesting something and then our external world shows us the opposite and makes us want to doubt what we're manifesting and makes us question it and second guess it. There's a mirror for that. So I taught about the mirrors of the universe. And I thought that this would be the course I teach forever because I'm like, this is teaching people how to read the signs of the universe. If they understand these different segments, they can see into their subconscious on their own, right? But then the more I went into my work, the more I realized, well, human consciousness is a bit more complex and multidimensional. So then we created the mastermind. Because when someone's triggered, it's very hard to see into the mirror. So in the mastermind, we have the trigger modality to help people soothe their triggers and manage their triggers more effectively. When the ego is really kicking in, it's very difficult to see into the mirror. Because the ego is smart. And the smarter we get and the more spiritual we get, the smarter the ego gets to convince us. So then we have the ego modality in the mastermind. So the mastermind's like the deep dive. But recently, as I was thinking about how do we make the sovereign souls stand alone, a fantastic experience with tools for people that they can go through in their own time, they can keep coming back to, timeless tools. How do we give this to the Sovereign Souls group? And that's when the mirrors started coming through again. But instead of four mirrors, seven. Seven mirrors revealed themselves. Seven distinctions of being able to look into the mirror of our reality field and see what it's telling us. Let's say someone understands that reality is a mirror, but then they deal with someone who's being really rude to them, and they're like, but I'm not rude. And then they're asking, well, am I rude? Am I that? The mirror, the spiritual teaching of the mirror of the universe says it's a mirror of me. So is there rudeness in me? Where am I being rude? And this is accurate to some degree, but it's also not. Because sometimes it's a mirror of what we judge the most. It's not actually about us being rude. It's about our judgment swung all the way to the side that we're intolerant of rudeness. This makes sense? Someone who's being lied to. And then they ask the question, they're like, but the mirror is showing me me. So am I a liar? Am I just oblivious to being a liar? Is that what my subconscious, the mirror of the universe, is showing me? It's like, no, that doesn't have to necessarily be the case. It could be that you're available to someone treating you in that way. So what I see this as is like this timeless part of Sovereign Souls Collective, that for those of you who are really committed to being sovereign souls, who show up to this, are going to receive these tools, these abilities to be able to look into your world, see the signs of what the universe is communicating to you. See the signs of what your life is inviting you into, is showing you about what's subconsciously going on.